Good morning everyone. In the last video, we have discussed about the pure and impure material. There I have said that there are different type of the material that is considered as a pure material as well as the impure material. The pure material have the class element and compound, impure materials have the class solution, suspension and colloid, and we have discussed the property of all of these of the three different category of the impure substances. Today we are going to discuss that how to purify the impure materials, that means the method for purification of the impure material. So there are different methods for the different type of the species, for different type of the mixture by which we purify the material. Then how to purify the different material? Here we are going to start, and we are starting with the process of vaporization. In this process, we purify the dye from the ink. So, our topic is to purify dye from ink. Then before that, what is the ink? Ink is basically a dye which is containing some of the other species, and other species are generally volatile by the nature. And if we are capable to remove those of the volatile substances from the ink, we will get the pure dye. For the process of the purification of the dye, we arrange the equipment according to this one. In this equipment, you can see that this is the Bunsen burner, a simple burner, speed burner, whatever you call it, for the heating of the substance. This is the tripod stand on which you will put the material. Wire gauge. Wire gauge is only for the distribution of the heat equally on the surface of the beaker. Otherwise एक पॉइंट पे अगर बर्नर आपका जलता रहेगा तो हो सकता है आपके कांच के कंटेनर्स जो हैं वो टूट जाएं, और लैब में आपको सारे के सारे कंटेनर कांच के ही मिलते हैं. The next one is the beaker which is containing water. Here it is the ink, that is the mixture of the dye and volatile substances, and here after heating the vapor formation is taking place. So when you will put the material in this arrangement, after putting the material in this arrangement, you will just heat the material, and when you will heat the material through this system, the water will become warm and the vaporization will start. That means the vaporization of water will start, and these of the vapors of water will heat the material which is kept on the surface of the beaker, and after heating this material, the volatile substances will start evaporating. When the volatile substances will start evaporating, the volatile materials will come out in the form of the vapor, and whatever the material will remain there, that will be called pure dye. So in this way we can purify the dye from the ink. That means in this way we can obtain the dye from the ink. This is the easiest method, one of the easiest method for the purification of the dye. The name of the process is called the evaporation. In the process, you can say that why we are not heating the material directly. We can heat the dye, we can heat the ink directly with the help of the flame. Why we are making this type of arrangement? Why we are heating with the help of the water? Why we are heating by beaker, keeping the substances on the top of the beaker filled with the water? Because this process must need a little more energy whatever needed for the direct heating of the material. क्योंकि यहाँ पे पहले वाटर हीट होगा, वाटर से जब हीटिंग जाएगी तब होगा, तो श्योरली हीट तो ज़्यादा चाहिए ही, एनर्जी ज़्यादा चाहिए ही होगी. Then why we are not heating directly? Why we are heating through the system that is called the water bath? Actually, the material has the low boiling and melting point, and if you will heat directly, the excess of heat will reach there. That can destroy the nature of the dye, that can destroy the quality of the dye, and to maintain such thing we are heating, and we are trying to prepare a pure dye and a good quality dye. That means whatever the quality of dye was there, to maintaining the same quality of the dye we are preparing here. Okay, so this was the way how to purify the dye from the ink. The name of the way is the vaporization. Now we are going to see the next purification method, and that is to separate the cream from the milk. आप सबको मालूम है the milk contains the cream, milk contains the fat contains also contains the sugar and some of the proteins. So milk is containing these are the materials, but how will you separate it? When you will see the milk is a colloid actually, but that seems like a solution. ऐसा लगता है कि ऊपर से नीचे तक concentration सेम है, but actually that is a colloid, a type of colloid that is called the emulsion. Then how will you separate the materials from each other? That is based on a theory of physics, that is the centripetal force. The centripetal force says that mv square upon r equal to centripetal force. Now if the mass of substance will be higher, if the force remains same, if you are taking this equation F equal to mg square by r, अगर इस फोर्स की वैल्यू कांस्टेंट है, वॉल्यूम भी कांस्टेंट है, तो अगर मास ज़्यादा होगा तो रेडियस क्या होगा, ज़्यादा हो जाएगा, मास कम होगा तो रेडियस कम हो जाएगा. अगर नहीं समझ में आया तो हम दूसरा एग्जांपल एक्सप्लेन करने की कोशिश करते हैं. अगर आप एक बैलून को धागे में बांध दीजिए और बांध के यूँ घुमाइए, अगर छोटे से रेडियस पे घुमाते हैं तो बड़े आराम से घूमता है, लेकिन आप सोचें कि 5-10 मीटर का धागा लेके यूँ ऐसे घुमा दें, दैट इज़ वेरी डिफिकल्ट, क्योंकि बैलून में मास नहीं है. लेकिन यही काम एक कंकड़ पत्थर लेके करें तो आसानी से वो घूम जाता है, छोटे रेडियस में भी घूम जाता है, उसे धीरे धीरे ढीला करते रहिए और बड़े रेडियस में भी घूमता रहेगा. That is very easy because the stone have a heavier mass with respect to that of the balloon. The stone have a higher density with respect to that of the balloon. Same इसी थ्योरम पे पूरा प्रोसेस चलता है, and the name of the process is centrifugation. सेंट्रीफ्यूगल फोर्स आपने पढ़ा होगा, वही सेम प्रोसेस है, सेंट्रीफ्यूगल फोर्स पे वर्क होता है, जो कि एक्चुअली में कोई रियल फोर्स नहीं है. होता ये है कि एक सेंट्रीफ्यूज है, आप सबने गांव में देखा होगा, शहरों में भी देखा होगा. सेंट्रीफ्यूज जिसे हम हिंदी में मथनी बोलते हैं, हाथ से यूँ करके घी निकालने का काम करते हैं, तो यहाँ पे दैट इज द सेंट्रीफ्यूज. दिस इज द सेंट्रीफ्यूज दैट कैन बी मैकेनिकल, दैट कैन बी मैनुअल. इफ दैट इज मैकेनिकल देयर विल बी अ मोटर दैट विल रोटेट द सेंट्रीफ्यूज, एंड इफ दैट इज मैनुअल we will rotate with our hand or with the help of the threads. आपने देखा होगा मूवी वगैरह में थ्रेड से घुमाते हुए दिखाते हैं, नॉर्मली जब राजस्थान का सीन दिखाते हैं, then that is the condition. Now in this system when you will rotate the material, the heavier material, whatever I have already said, the heavier material will move at a higher radius and the lighter material will move at the smaller radius. So in the case of the milk there are two different type of the species, that is the water and oily species. Surely the cream contains the oil, the desi ghee whatever we call it. Then cream contains that oily part, and oil must have the lower density with the water. आपको पहले से मालूम है that oils have the lower density than the water. So when you will rotate, what happens? The material having lower density will come closer to the center, and those of the material which are heavier they will move away from the center. So here the cream which is lighter by the nature will come closer to the radius, that means that will come somewhere here, and the watery portion will move away from the center, and in this way you can see that the cream is at the center, and now you can collect this cream. Then what will you do with this cream? Cream is collected. हमें जो पढ़ाना था वो तो हमने पढ़ा दिया कि हाउ टू सेपरेट द क्रीम फ्रॉम द मिल्क, लेकिन इस क्रीम को कहाँ ले जाके क्या करेंगे? इसकी चेयरिंग की जाती है, और चेयरिंग के बाद घी निकलता है. मेरे ख्याल से आपके घरों में भी कभी न कभी होता होगा, यू मस्ट हैव सीन. जब इस क्रीम को ले जाके कंटेनर में हीट किया जाता है, कढ़ाई में या किसी कंटेनर में हीट किया जाता है, तो क्या होता है? वॉट एवर द मॉइस्चर इज देयर इन द कंटेंट दैट विल इवेपोरेट. वॉट एवर द fat is there, the milk sugar is there in the milk, then whatever the sugar is there, whatever the milk sugar is there, that will come on the bottom in the form of a layer. आपने देखा होगा जब घी बनाते हैं तो नीचे एक लेयर सा बन जाता है ब्राउन कलर का. that layer is made up of the protein as well as the milk sugar, and the last substance that is the ghee, that is the fat, will remain in the form of the liquid, and now we can separate that liquid from the solid. The sugar remains in the form of solid, the water turns in the form of gas, and the oil remains liquid. So that liquid is collected, that ghee is collected, and in this way you are capable to separate the material. This process is called centrifugation, which works on the basis of the centrifugal force, which is not a real force, actually that is a centripetal force, and we think that a force like centrifugal force is acting, and that is responsible for such type of the process. So this is the process called centrifugation, which is used for the purification of the cream from the milk. In this video we are stopping the topic here, and in the next video we will discuss about the purification of some of the other material, कैसे हम दूसरे materials को अलग करते हैं. Thank you and have a nice day.